Hello, I'm attorney Thomas Burton, and today's question is the following. Do all wills go through probate in Wisconsin? So this is an excellent question, and the answer is any Wisconsin estate that exceeds $50,000 in probate assets must go through the probate court process unless the property is subject to certain exemptions. So exemptions would include property titled jointly, such as survivorship marital property. You can own your home as survivorship marital property, and generally the surviving spouse then could inherit the entire property without the value of the real estate going through probate. Other examples would be jointly titled bank accounts or other assets like an investment account. So for married couples, often when the first person dies in Wisconsin, you can avoid probate on a lot of the assets by using jointly titled assets, which I often recommend. But in terms of whether wills go through probate, the answer is yes. By definition, a will must be filed with the probate court within 30 days knowledge of the death by the person who has the will. Often this will be the personal representative named in the will, has the duty to file the will, the probate court in the county where the person died resided. Now, whether you need to open a probate court action or not will depend on whether you have total assets subject to probate above that $50,000 limit. And the $50,000 limit is the small estate limit in Wisconsin. In other states, they also have this limit, but it can vary from lower, such as $25,000, to a higher limit like $100,000. But in Wisconsin, they draw the line at $50,000. So if you have, again, total assets subject to probate, meaning assets that pass under the will and aren't titled with another person or have a beneficiary designation, they would fall under that probate limit. So an example would be a bank account which you made payable on death to your only living child. That would not get included in the probate assets because it passes non-probate by contract between you and the bank to that child upon your death. So do all wills go through probate? Yes, a will is a probate court document, and by definition, a will is something you create during life and becomes public after your death. Want to avoid probate? You want to look at some of those methods I discussed and using a trust, a revocable living trust, to pass your assets after death, because this would be the document that doesn't become public after death. It can be private during life and private after death. But if you're using a will and you're planning past assets under the will will need to be filed and go through the probate court process to distribute those assets in Wisconsin. Great question, and thank you for asking. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.